Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Adellia Altasia. You can call me Adele. My study number is 19111057 and I'm from English Literature 19. And now I will explain about 70 skills listening session part A. Okay, enjoy with my video. The first is skill 1. Focus on the last line. The short dialogue involves conversation between two people, each followed by question. It is important to understand that the answer to this type of question is most often, but not always, found in the last line of the conversation. Next, we move to skill 2. Choose answer with synonym. Often the correct answer in a short dialogue is an answer that contains synonym word with similar meaning but different sound for keyword in the conversation. Next, we move to skill 3. Avoid similar sound. Often the incorrect answer in the short dialogue are answers that contain words with similar sound but very different meaning from what you hear on the recording. You should definitely avoid this answer. Next, we move to skill 4. Draw conclusion about who, what, where. It is common in the short dialogue to ask you draw some kind of conclusion. In this type of question, the answer is not clearly stated. Instead, you must draw a conclusion based on clues given in the dialogue. One kind of conclusion that is common in this part of the test is to ask you to determine who the speaker is based on clues given in the dialogue. Next, we move to skill 5. Listen for who and what in passive. It is sometimes difficult to understand who or what is doing the action in a passive sentence. This problem is often tested in the short dialogue. In the skill 6, listen for who and what with multiple nouns. When there is more than one noun in a sentence in the short dialogue, it is common for the answer to confuse which noun does what. Next, we move to skill 7. Listen for negative experience. Negative experience are very common in the short dialogue, and the most common kind of correct response to a negative statement is a positive statement containing a word with an opposite meaning. Next, we move to skill 8. Listen for double negative experience. It is possible for two negative ideas to appear in one sentence and the result can be quite confusing. Next, we move to skill 9. Listen for a most negative experience. Certain experience in English have almost negative meanings. These experiences are common in the short dialogues. In the main statement, the word enough indicates that there was enough, so he paid the bill. However, it was barely enough, so he almost did not have enough and certainly has no money left. Next, we move to skill 10. Listen for negatives with comparative. Negative can be used with comparative in the short dialogue of the TOEFL test. A sentence with a negative and a comparative has a superlative or very strong meaning. Next, we move to skill 11. Listen for experience of agreement. Experience of agreement are common in the short dialogue, so you should become familiar with them. The following example short agreement with a positive statement. Next, we move to skill 12. Listen for experience of uncertainty and suggestion. Experience of uncertainty and suggestion are common in the short dialogue, so you should become familiar with them. The following examples show an experience of uncertainty. Next, we move to skill 13. Listen for empathic experience of surprise. Empathic experience of surprise are common in the shared dialogue, so you should become familiar with them. When surprise is expressed, it implies that the speaker did not expect something to be true. Next, we move to skill 14. Listen for wishes. Conversation about wishes can appear in the shared dialogue. The important idea to remember about wishes is that a wish implies that the opposite of the wish is true. Next, we move to skill 15. Listen for untrue condition. Conversation containing condition can appear in the shared dialogue. The important idea to remember about condition is that a condition implies that the opposite of the condition is true. Next, we move to skill 16. Listen for 2 and 3-part verbs. 2 and 3-part verbs appear in the sum question in the short dialogue. These verbs are expressions that include a verb and one or more participles, such as in, on, or at. The participles change the meaning of the verb. Questions involving 2 and 3-part verbs can be difficult for students because the addition of the particle changes the meaning of the verb in an idiomatic way. And then the last skill is listen for idioms. Idioms appear in some question in the shared dialogue. Idioms are special experience in a language that all speakers of the language know. This special experience describe one situation on life but are applied to many different areas of life. Idiom question can be difficult for students because they seem to be describing one situation when they are really describing a different situation. Okay, that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed my video. Bye bye.